So hello everyone, we started with today's lecture. In previous lecture we finished the first topic from the third BHMS, that is drug proving, from aphorism number 105 to 145. Now in today's lecture we are going to start with a new topic, that is aphorism number 146 to 154. Means these are the aphorisms that are related to the selection of the similar remedy. Aphorism number 146 to 154. These aphorisms are related to the selection of the remedy or the method of selection, or also called as a selection of the similar remedy. In this, Dr. Hahnemann explains the guidelines, that is how to select the similar remedy for the patient. Up till now, we studied the knowledge of disease and knowledge of medicine, and now from this point we are going to start with the third point of 71 aphorisms, that is how to apply the knowledge of medicine to the knowledge of disease. So in this lecture we are started with aphorism number 146 to 154, and these are related to the methods of selection, or also we called it as a selection of the similar remedy. So in this, the remedy selection is a logical process. So what is mean by remedy selection? So remedy selection is a logical process. Proper application of the homeopathic philosophy can only lead to the selection of the right remedy. That is, if you have a proper application of homeopathic philosophy, can only lead to the selection of a right remedy. A homeopath cannot afford to commit error in the remedy selection, as our whole and soul is depend on the selection of the similar remedy, as we do not do any procedure or any therapy or anything else than the remedy. So selection of the proper remedy is the only guide to the homeopath to cure the patient. So a homeopath cannot afford to commit error in the remedy selection. So in this, the future of the cases as well as that of the pathy depends upon the accurate remedy selection. So the future of the physician and the future of the pathy all depends upon the accurate remedy selection. So in this, it is the most important part of homeopathy, that is remedy selection. So remedy selection in homeopathy is guided by applying the concept of individualization. That is, our remedy selection is depend on the concept of individualization. So in this, while selecting a remedy, we know that is uncommon, peculiar and characteristic symptoms must be paid attention to in order to select the remedy accurately. That is, while selecting the remedy, we must know the uncommon, the peculiar and the characteristic symptoms of each case, and that having that importance to select the remedy. In this, remedy selection on the basis of pathology, laboratory investigation and disease names must be strictly avoided. So you must know that is in homeopathy, while selecting the remedy, we take the note of points, that is we select the symptoms which are uncommon symptoms, which are peculiar symptoms, which are characteristic symptoms. But while selecting the remedy in homeopathy, we do not give the remedy on the basis of pathology, laboratory investigations or the disease names. That is, in homeopathy we avoid the specific remedy on depending the disease name or any laboratory investigations or any pathological condition. This we avoid, as we consider human being as a whole and not his only part of the body. And in this, in homeopathy, there are no specific remedies for a disease. So in homeopathy, there are no specific remedies for a disease condition. That is, every case requires a new remedy. So if you have a number of patients of same disease, but you cannot give the same remedy for that number of patients. As there are number of patients, so you have to select the number of remedies according to their symptoms and select the remedy for these all patients. That is, every case requires a new remedy. That is, in this the footnote having aphorism number 149 having a footnote, and that draws the attention of Dr. Hahnemann, that is, the attention the profession of to the original source of drug knowledge, that is materia medica, rather than the help books, that is repertory. That is, in footnote under aphorism number 144 149, Dr. Hahnemann explained about the physician must have a thorough knowledge of materia medica, and he do not depend only on the repertory. That is, he welcomes them all. Still, he puts stress on the materia medica and enjoins three indispensable qualities on the physician, that is, laborious investigation, great circumspection, and the serious deliberation. Means, while selecting the remedy, the physician do a hard work on that case, and he should find out the uncommon, the peculiar, the characteristic symptoms, and he should match the remedy from the materia medica, as he only not depend on the remedy, he having the knowledge of materia medica also, and he apprehend the growth of a new group of easy loving physicians who practice homeopathy but not earnestly enough. They avoid the labor record in the selection of accurate remedy, and naturally they meet with a failure in many cases. That is, they only depend on the repertory. They select one to two symptoms from the repertory and give the remedy on the basis of that repertory. So this is not the homeopathy. As Dr. Hahnemann tells us, while doing practicing the homeopathy, you must have a hard working, you must have a conscientious, that is about your work, that is, you must be a diligent physician, and you must select the remedy in homeopathy on the basis of totality of symptoms, and you have to select that peculiar uncommon characteristic symptoms, match the similarity of the remedy, and then give to the patient. Only one to two symptoms selected and see in a repertory and give the remedy, this is not the homeopathy. So Hahnemann, that is, digest all the laziness and duplicity in the homeopathic practice, this new lazy group as the mongrel sect. So what this group of physicians Dr. Hahnemann called as a mongrel sect, and by the logical selection of the correct medicine, all these harmful and unnecessary method can be avoided. So this is regarding the mongrel sect, which introduction given in the footnote under aphorism number 149. We see the, in short, the summary regarding the selection of remedy, and after this we are going to start with the aphorisms. So in this, what is the importance of remedy selection? That is, the seat, the stage, and the duration of the disease frequently point to the decisive evaluation for the almost every medicine. That is, while selecting the medicine, you must know the seat of that disease, stage of that disease, duration of that disease, frequently point to the decisive evaluation for almost every medicine. They act more definitely upon certain parts of the organism, the whole body seldom being. Please mute all. So in this we are seeing the importance of the remedy selection. In this, you know the seat of disease, stage of disease, and the duration of the disease. They act more definitely upon certain parts of the organism, the whole body seldom being affected equally. Difference occurs in the so-called local disease as well as the in the affections of the designated as a general, such as gout and rheumatism. At times the right side, then again the left side suffer more, or the pain may appear diagonally. Each remedy has its own characteristics. That is, while selecting the remedy, you must know this characteristic of all the remedies. That is, it is the symptoms that is related, which are uncommon, which are peculiar symptoms, and which are characteristic symptom. And on the basis of this, you have to select the similar remedy and you have to prescribe that remedy to the patient. Then and then only this we called it as a homeopathic cure, or the homeopathic cures that disease condition permanently. So this is the small introduction regarding these aphorisms. Aphorism number 146 to 154. In this, after this, we are also going to discuss the different ways of remedy selection. What are the different ways on the basis of which we are going to select the remedy? So in this, first we start with aphorism number 146. So first we see the summary of aphorism number 146 to 154, and these are related to the remedy selection or the methods of selection. So in this aphorism number 146, it is related to the idea about employment of medicines to get perfect homeopathic cure. That is, it is regarding the idea about employment of medicines to get perfect homeopathic cure. That is aphorism number 146. In 147, it is regarding the homeopathic specific remedy. That is, specific remedy is described in aphorism number 147. Then aphorism number 148, it is regarding natural diseases are caused by dynamic inimical agency. What is this? The natural diseases are caused by the dynamic inimical agency. Then aphorism number 149, it is regarding the chronic diseases takes proportionate time to cure. So what is aphorism number 149? Chronic diseases takes proportionate time to cure, and that having a footnote that explains the mongrel sect, that we called it as a crossbreed dog. This having under the footnote 149. Then aphorism number 150, it is related to the indisposition, that is slight alteration in the state of health, that we called it as a indisposition. This is explained in aphorism number 150. Then aphorism number 151, it is regarding the important diseases have number of symptoms. Important diseases have a number of symptoms in aphorism number 151. Then aphorism number 152, it is regarding acute disease selection is easy. That is, in acute diseases, selection of remedy is easy. Then aphorism number 153, it is regarding for choice of remedy, striking, singular, uncommon, peculiar signs and symptoms of the disease should be considered. That is, in aphorism number 153, for the choice of a remedy, you must know the striking, singular, uncommon, peculiar signs and symptoms of disease condition is considered. And the aphorism number 154, it is regarding the homeopathic medicines cures acute diseases without much disturbances. That is, homeopathic medicines cures the acute diseases without much disturbances in aphorism number 154. So in these aphorisms, from aphorism number 146 to aphorism number 154, in this there are three main basic questions. That is, aphorism number 147, that is regarding the specific remedy, homeopathic specific remedy, it is mostly asked for a short note. Then next aphorism, that is aphorism number 150, it is also asked for a short note, that is indisposition. And the footnote of 149, that is mongrel sect, or also called it as a crossbreed dog. It can be asked for a 2-mark question or it can be asked for a 5-mark question. So these three are most famous or regularly asking questions, that is homeopathic specific remedy, then indisposition, and a mongrel sect, or also called as a crossbreed dog. So we started with aphorism number 146. In this, I will first read the aphorism 146. The third point of the business of a true physician relates to the judicious employment of the artificial morphic agents, medicines that have been proved on healthy individuals to ascertain their pure action in order to effect the homeopathic cure of natural diseases. So, what is explaining in this aphorism? Aphorism number 146. It is regarding the third point of business of a true physician. So, what is the third point of business of a true physician? That is, after getting the idea about what is to be cured in disease and to each and every individual disease, and second one, what is curative in medicine to each and every individual medicine, the physician has to pursue the judicious way of application of medicinal knowledge to the disease knowledge. So this is the third point of business of a true physician, that is to judicious employment of artificial morphic agent, that is medicine, that have been proved on healthy individuals to ascertain their pure action in order to effect the homeopathic cure of a natural disease. Means in this aphorism number 146, they explain the third point of business, or also we called as the three necessary points of a cure. In this aphorism number 146 explain the third point in this 3 points of a cure. The first point is, that is, you must have a knowledge of disease. Then second, you must have a knowledge of medicine. And the third point, that is how to apply the medicinal knowledge to the disease knowledge. So in previous aphorisms we studied what is mean by disease knowledge regarding the disease. Then in aphorism number 105 to 145, we studied the effect of medicine, means we took the knowledge about the medicine, that is what is the effect of that medicine on healthy human beings. So we know the knowledge about the artificial morphic agent, that we called it as a medicines or the remedy. So after getting the knowledge of medicine, then the third point comes, that is we must know the how to apply that medicinal knowledge to the disease knowledge. And this point is started from aphorism number 146, that is how to apply, what are the different criteria on which we apply that medicinal knowledge to the disease knowledge. So from this aphorism it is started with a, in order to effect the homeopathic cure of natural disease, means to treat the natural disease we must know the how to apply the medicinal knowledge to the that natural disease knowledge, and in this way we cure the patient permanently. So this is a short aphorism, aphorism number 146, which is regarding the third point of business of a true physician, relates to the judicious employment of the artificial morphic agents that have been proved on a healthy individuals, means that is drug proving, to ascertain their pure action in order to effect the homeopathic cure of natural disease. So this is aphorism number 146. Then next aphorism, aphorism number 147. So what aphorism number 147 tells us, that is it is regarding the homeopathic specific remedy. So what it tells, first I will read the aphorism, sorry, yes, aphorism number 147. First I will read the aphorism. Whichever of these medicines that have been investigated as to their power of altering man's health we find to contain in the symptoms observed from its use the greatest similarity to the totality of the symptoms of a given natural disease, this medicine will and must be the most suitable, the most certain homeopathic remedy for the disease. In it is found the specific remedy of this case of disease. So what is explaining in this aphorism, aphorism number 147, it is regarding the homeopathic specific remedy. Whichever of these medicines that have been investigated as to their power of altering man's health, we find to contain in the symptoms observed from its use the greatest similarity to the totality of the symptoms of a given natural disease. This medicine will and must be the most suitable, the most certain homeopathic remedy for the disease. In it is found the specific remedy of this case of a disease. So in this, that is selection of a right remedy means specific remedy. That is in homeopathic, there as such there are no specific medicines on the disease name. In homeopathy, specific remedy is one which is indicated by matching the symptom of artificial disease to the symptoms of a natural disease. Means the what is the main definition of specific remedy? That is the specific disease condition having a specific remedy. That we call it as a specific remedy. But in homeopathy, there is no any specific remedy present in homeopathy. But according to homeopathy, which remedy we call it as a specific remedy, as these are the remedies in homeopathy. Specific remedy is one which is indicated by matching the symptom of artificial disease to the symptom of natural disease, means matching the symptom of medicine and the symptom of natural disease, that we call it as a specific remedy. And the modern concept, what is the modern concept of specific remedy? That is a specific disease having a specific medicine, that we call it as a specific remedy. But there is no any specific remedy in homeopathy according to the modern concept. But according to homeopathy, what we call as a specific remedy, as a specific remedy is one which is indicated by matching the symptoms of artificial disease to the symptom of natural disease, that we call it as a specific remedy according to the homeopathy. So in homeopathy, actually there is no place for the specific remedy. So in this, while selecting the specific remedy, we know that is symptom totality in this individual and the medicine totality containing strange, rare, uncommon, peculiar symptoms helps to know the matching with each other. Then similarity is established and medicine is administered. That is second point, that is regarding the disease pathology and its curability. That is after adjusting dose, potency and repetition, the most suitable homeopathic remedy has been selected. And the management of the case including diet and regimen, probable course of the disease, selection of the potency, whether natural or the artificial disease. So when we follow all the criteria according to the homeopathy, and when we select the similar medicines for the patient, so according to homeopathy, that similar medicine we call it as a specific remedy. But the what is the concept of specific remedy according to the modern concept, that we not accept in a homeopathy, or there is no any specific remedy in homeopathy. So in homeopathy there is no specific remedy according to the nosological classification of diseases. That is, as for malaria, plague, influenza, angina pectoris, asthma, etc., we do not have that specific remedy for that specific disease condition. So a medicine can however be genus epidemicus in a particular symptom totality at a particular time in majority of the cases. So in homeopathy there is no specific remedy according to the nosological classification of diseases, means modern concept of disease, that is specific disease having a specific remedy. So this, there is no any specific remedy present in a homeopathy. But according to the homeopathy, what is the specific remedy? According to the homeopathy, specific remedy is one which is indicated by matching the symptom of artificial disease, that we call it as a medicine, to the symptom of a natural disease. So that we call as a specific remedy according to the homeopathy. But what is the specific remedy according to the modern concept? That there is no any specific remedy in the homeopathy. So you have to know this difference, that is there is no specific remedy on the disease name in homeopathy, but we have specific remedy that we match with the symptom similarity and prescribe to the patient, that we call it as a specific remedy according to the, that is matching the symptom of artificial disease means medicine to the symptoms of a natural disease. So this is given in aphorism number 147 regarding the specific remedy. So all of you understand any difficulty regarding these two aphorisms, aphorism number 146 and 147? Yes, all of you listening? Any any difficulties regarding these aphorisms? So in this two aphorisms you have to remember only these things, that is aphorism number 146, it is regarding the third point of a business of a true physician, that is how to apply the knowledge of medicines to the knowledge of disease, and in aphorism number 147 it is regarding the specific remedy. Then we started with aphorism number 148. So first I will read the aphorism number 148. So aphorism number 148, the natural disease is never to be considered as a noxious material that is suited somewhere within the interior or exterior of a man, but as one produced by inimical spirit, like conceptual agency, which, like a kind of infection, disturb in its intensive, in, instinctive existence of the spirit like conceptual principle of life within the organism. It is an evil spirit and compelling it to produce certain elements and disorders in the regular course of its life. These are known as symptoms. If now the influence of this inimical agency that not only caused but strives to continue this disorder be taken away, as is done when the physician administered an artificial potency capable of altering the life principle in the most similar manner, a homeopathic medicine, which exceeds in energy even in the smallest dose the similar natural disease, then the influence of original noxious morbid agent on the life principle is lost during the action of this stronger similar artificial disease. Hence, the evil no longer exists for the life principle, it is destroyed. If, as has been said, the selected homeopathic remedy is administered properly, then the acute natural disease, which is to be overruled if recently developed, will disappear in a few hours. An older, more chronic disease will yield somewhat later, together with all stresses of discomfort, by the use of several doses of the same more highly potentized remedy, or after careful selection of one or another more similar homeopathic medicine. Health recovery follow in often rapid transitions. The life principle is freed again and capable of resuming the life of the organism in health as before, and strength re- returns. So this is aphorism number 148, and what this aphorism tells, that is how the homeopathic cure takes place. In homeopathy, how homeopathic cure takes place, that we also called as a modus operandi. How homeopathic cure takes place, this is also explaining in aphorism number 148. So this is regarding the how homeopathic cure takes place. In this, all the natural diseases are not to be considered as the disease caused by internal or external material causes, but they should be considered as a diseases caused by the immaterial dynamic morphic influence, that is by the miasms. That is, in homeopathy, that is, all the diseases are not only causes due to some internal causes or in external material causes, but there are some diseases which are caused due to immaterial dynamic morphic influences, that we call it as a miasm. And in this, these dynamic morphic influences disturb the harmonious flow of orders between the vital force, mind, and the physical body, and the individual land into abnormal signs and symptoms. That is, if there is some immaterial dynamic morphic causes behind the disease condition, that causes the dynamic morphic influences disturb the harmonious flow of orders between the vital force. Means, previously the vital force which is in a healthy state, in a harmonious condition, gets disturbed. That is, there is a harmonious flow of orders between the vital force, mind, and the physical body, and the individuals land into the abnormal signs and symptoms. That is, after this, an individual shows some abnormal signs and symptoms, and these are known as a disease. That is, collection of these signs and symptoms, we call it as a disease. So physician records the case, forms the portrait of a disease. The same portrait of disease he matches with the portrait of a medicine, and he select the same medicine in a slightly higher than the required potency. That is, by following the therapeutic law of nature. That is, according to 26 aphorisms, that is, by following the therapeutic law of nature, a weaker dynamic affection is permanently extinguished in the living organism by a stronger one if the latter is very similar to the former in its manifestation. Cure cure takes place. In this way, patient gets the freedom from natural disease, that is of artificial disease, as each and every medicinal substance has its own duration of action. After the completion of duration of action, medicine patient gets the freedom from the artificial disease also. And in this, the acute disease after the selection of proper medicine disappears spontaneously. Unknowingly, chronic diseases takes a time. So this is regarding the how homeopathic cure takes place in homeopathy. So in this, how homeopathic cure takes place, or how homeopathic remedy act, in this we will see as when there is any disturbances in the human organism, if there is some dynamic influences that disturb the human body, and while disturbing that human body, that create the signs and symptoms. When there is signs and symptoms, collection of these signs and symptoms, we call it as a disease condition. So in patient having a natural disease, so we treat, while we treating that natural disease with homeopathic medicine, we select the medicine that having a slightly higher power than the natural disease. So, but while selecting that remedy, first we will took the case of that patient, we form the portrait of the disease of the patient, and we match that portrait of a patient with a portrait of a medicine. And after matching the portrait of that patient with a portrait of that medicine, we select the proper similar medicine for that patient. And after selecting the proper medicine, we give the medicine with a slightly higher potency than the natural disease to the patient. And in this way, that artificial disease which we produce by giving the medicine in that patient, the artificial disease unhealed that natural disease. means remove that natural disease from the body, and artificial disease having a fixed duration of action. After finishing the duration of action, the symptoms of that artificial morphic agent also get removed, and in this way body is free from all the signs and symptoms, and patient goes in a state of cure permanently. So this is the way in which the homeopathic cure takes place. That also we call it as a modus operandi, or also called it as a how homeopathic cure takes place. This is explaining this aphorism number 148. मग काय सांगितले 148 मध्ये, आय विल अगेन रिपीट इट. दॅट इज एक पेशंट आहे आपल्याकडे, पेशंट डिसीज कंडिशन घेऊन येतो. मग तो डिसीज कंडिशन कधी घेऊन येतो, त्याच्या बॉडीमध्ये आधी काहीतरी असा इमटेरियल डायनेमिक इन्फ्लुएन्स आहे, तो डिस्टर्ब झाल्यामुळे त्याच्या बॉडीमध्ये काय येतात, सायन्स आणि सिम्पटम्स येतात. सायन्स आणि सिम्पटम्स येतात, मग त्या कलेक्शन ऑफ सायन्स आणि सिम्पटम्सलाच आपण काय म्हणतो, डिसीज कंडिशन. मग yes, I am explaining the aphorism number 148, and it is regarding the how homeopathic cure takes place. So when there is any immaterial dynamic influence that disturb the human body, that creates a disease condition, and in that human body, that we call it as a natural disease, and to cure the natural disease when patient comes to a homeopathic physician, the homeopathic physician took a detailed case of that patient, and after taking the case he formed the portrait of the disease with totality of the symptoms and match that portrait of disease condition to the portrait of the medicine. And after matching the similarity between the portrait of a patient or a portrait of a medicine, he prescribes the medicine on the basis of therapeutic law of nature, that is according to the aphorism number 26, and he prescribes a slightly higher potency of that medicine to the patient for that natural disease. While giving that medicine, we produce artificial morphic agents that we call it as a medicine that produce artificial disease in that patient, and that artificial disease which is similar to that natural disease but slightly higher power, that annihilate that natural disease, removes that natural disease, and after the completion of duration of action of that medicine, the natural artificial disease also removed from the body, and the patient is free from all the disease condition, and he goes toward the path of a cure. So this is regarding the how the homeopathic cure takes place in homeopathy. This is aphorism number 148. Then the next aphorism, aphorism number 149. We are starting with next aphorism, aphorism number 149. So what it explained, aphorism number 149, it is regarding the chronic and the complex disease takes time to cure. That is, chronic and complex diseases takes time to cure. Aphorism number 149. In this first I will read the aphorism. Diseases of long standing and especially such as are of a complicated character require for their cure a proportionately longer time. More especially do the chronic medicinal dyscrasia, so often produced by allopathic bungling along with the natural disease left uncured by it, require a much longer time for their recovery. Often in need did are the incurable in consequence of the shameful robbery of the patient's strength and juices on account of long continued use of large doses of violently acting remedies given on the basis of empty false theories for alleged usefulness in cases of disease, appearing similar also in prescribing unsuitable mineral baths, etc. The principal feat performed by allopathy in its so-called method of treatment. So this is regarding the chronic diseases take time to recover, or chronic and the complex diseases takes time to cure. So what is the chronic diseases? The diseases having a long standing diseases, or that is of slow growing diseases. So in these chronic diseases and the complex diseases. So what is complex diseases? Complex diseases means that is chronic diseases caused due to the overuse of allopathic medicines or chemicals, that is by taking the number of chemicals in the body that creates a complex disease condition in the body. So those diseases which are chronic and long standing requires much time for their cure, especially those chronic diseases which are complicated by prolonged use of crude allopathic drugs. That is, if patient is suffering from any chronic diseases and he took for many of the days or for long duration took drugs or allopathic crude substances that creates a complicated condition in that patient's body, and that called as a complex disease. And these complex diseases are very hard to cure by any pathy. That is, for this reason, these chronic diseases and the complex diseases takes time to cure. So those diseases which are chronic and long standing requires much time for their cure, especially those chronic diseases which are complicated by prolonged use of allopathic crude drugs. So these diseases takes the long time to cure. In this aphorism they also explain the same, that is, diseases of long standing, especially such as are of complicated character, require for their cure a proportionately long time. The disease having long duration requires a long time to cure. More especially do the chronic medicinal dyscrasia. Chronic medicinal dyscrasia means the chronic diseases which are complicated with taking the allopathic medicine for many days, that is chronic medicinal dyscrasia, so often produced by allopathic bungling along with a natural disease left uncured by it. That is, for natural disease patient took the allopathic medicines for a long time and it complicated that natural disease, and that natural disease become the uncure, that is left uncured by it, and require a much longer time for their recovery. So it require a longer time for their recovery, often indeed are the incurable in consequences of the shameful robbery of the patient's strength and juices. So these diseases becomes incurable, and Dr. Honeyman told it as a shameful robbery of the patient's strength and juices. Means this is a shameful robbery of patient's strength. That is, what is the power of patient, what is the strength of patient. This is a shameful robbery of that strength of a patient on account of long continued use of large doses of violently acting remedies given on the basis of empty false theories for alleged usefulness in cases of diseases appearing similar, also in prescribing unsuitable mineral baths. So they gave the examples, that is crude substances, chemicals that is used in that medicines or mineral baths, etc. The principal feat performed by allopathy in its so called methods of treatment. So this is a fake method of treatment that allopathy gives, or it causes a harmful effect on the patient's body, and in that cases if the patient took it for a long duration it causes a chronic diseases that goes into the complex diseases or in a complicated state, and that become incurable for a lifelong. So this is regarding the aphorism number 149, which explains the chronic diseases and the complex diseases takes the long time to cure due to the, that is, formation of artificial disease in that patient due to artificial crude substances that is used in the allopathy. So this is regarding the aphorism number 149. So in this lecture we studied four aphorisms: aphorism number 146, 147, 148 and 149. In this, in aphorism number 146, it is regarding the third point of business, that is how to apply the knowledge of medicines to the knowledge of disease. Then aphorism number 147, it is regarding the specific remedy. So what is the specific remedy? In homeopathy, as such, there is no specific remedies on the disease name, but in homeopathy, specific remedy is one which is indicated by matching the symptom of artificial disease to the symptom of natural disease. Then in aphorism number 148, we studied about how homeopathic cure takes place. In that we studied the dynamic morphic influence, immaterial cause that causes the disease condition, and after matching the portrait of a patient to the portrait of medicine, we select the medicine on the therapeutic law of nature and give to the patient. In that way, the artificial morphic agent that removes the natural disease and the patient becomes free from the disease condition. in aphorism number 148. Then in aphorism number 149 we studied about the chronic and the complex diseases takes time to cure, as those diseases which are chronic and long lasting requires much time for their cure, especially those chronic diseases which are complicated by prolonged use of allopathic crude drugs. So this is aphorism number 149. Then aphorism number 149 having a footnote that gives the explanation of mongrel sect, or also we call it as a crossbreed dog. So this short note or a mongrel sect we will study in tomorrow's lecture. So I think time is over. You have next lecture. So anyone having any difficulty regarding these four aphorisms? Yes, anyone having any difficulty regarding these aphorisms?
No, ma'am.
So today we will stop here. Tomorrow we will continue with the next aphorisms. Yashwanti, please send me the attendance. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
we will stop here and end the meeting. So bye everyone.